Hey everybody, welcome back to Cheap Comic Collector. This is number, I want to mess this up again, 315 this is. Today we're going to go through a few books that I got on WhatNot. I'm learning about things, the way things work on WhatNot. I've learned some expensive lessons that I'm going to share with you. um, Whatnot's kind of like eBay in the sense that you have all these different sellers, and they don't always, they don't all, they all aren't what they should be. Even though Whatnot has like a verification process, or you have to actually apply in order to be able to sell on there. Um, yeah, all people aren't created equal, and so things are different. And there's some other, there's just some things with the way things work that could cost you money if you're not aware of them. They have me, not a lot, but enough where, okay, I need to, like, I know I need to be a little bit more careful, right? Because the, when you buy a flat rate box, that's great, you know, assuming the seller fills it all the way up. But there's some sellers who they'll start throwing books in there, and if the auction ends before they have the box fill, they'll just stop filling up the box. If it's like a $10 box or $11 box, they didn't get their $20, $30 for it. So they just cut it off and stop filling it up. And there's other ones who do. They'll just keep going. They'll fill it all up. I was watching a guy yesterday or the day before who, man, he was slower than heck, man. He'd only have that box halfway full by the time the auction ran out, and he had it running for like 5 minutes. But he was taking so long looking at every book that he still had half a box to go. But he did what he should. He filled it up all the way, and so that was nice of him. That was good of him. But there's some other ones that they'll just, if they don't think they're making enough money that day, they just stop filling up the box. And also, there's shipping. If you're not doing the flat rate box, if you're doing individual auctions on somebody's stream, it's the same stream, but it's like one comic at a time. This one's $1, this one's $1, this one's $2, this one's $1. Sometimes you have to check shipping. You have to check the shipping notice to see how they do it, and you have to keep checking the shipping notice because it changes. WhatNot, and this isn't the seller's fault, I don't think. This is WhatNot's system for figuring out costs is weird. It's just it'll start you off with a $5 cost and say, "Oh, we're going to bundle stuff together, so don't worry about it." But then it does not bundle stuff as cheaply as it could. And sometimes it'll be like, okay, now your shipping's $1. Now your shipping's 39 cents. Now your shipping's $2. Now your shipping's free. Now your shipping's free. And then it'll jump back to the $6 again. And so you got to be careful about that. And that money all goes to WhatNot. The sellers don't get it. I don't think. Well, I mean, they're the ones shipping it, so I guess they get it. I don't know. But WhatNot charges a fee that includes the shipping costs, I believe. The whatever fee they pay, WhatNot gets like a percentage, and that percentage includes the shipping, I believe. I may be wrong about that, but I think that's what I read. And but then there's other sellers where if you read the shipping, it'll say, we won't charge you over, the medium rate, 836 or whatever it is for, that's the most you'll pay. Doesn't matter if you pay, if you get 100, 150 comics, that's the most you'll pay. And so sometimes that's true, and sometimes it's not. So on the Gotham City, or not Gotham City, Gotham Thrift, that I bought a bunch of them off of, right? They'll tell you that's not true. That's WhatNot. You need to talk to WhatNot, blah, 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 blah. We don't do free shipping. It's cost of shipping is expensive. It's $8.35 a box and per box. But then the other day I was on a site, somebody else's site, and they were, filling the boxes. And after my first box, shipping was free. 2 boxes, 3 boxes, 4 boxes, doesn't matter. The rest of the shipping's free. So that was my first time with that. That's the first time shipping ever kicked in on the flat rate boxes for free. So I think that depends on how they do it. But then on the individual auctions, there's also times when they they'll say something like that. They'll start off with the individual shipping prices, but then if you reach that amount of $8.35 or whatever, that's it. No more shipping. And the reason I'm besides saying all this is so that if you do go on WhatNot, you have kind of an idea, hopefully, of what's going on. It's you got to watch those shipping costs because you can end up paying a lot more for books than you expected to. And the books I'm going to show you today, we don't have a huge stack. We just have this many. But I got these off in an auction the other night. They shipped really quickly. I got them in a couple days. But these came out to about $2 a piece. So about half of these won't be going into the claim sale. The only reason the other half is going in is because I already have them. And that's something on WhatNot too, is like, you only have a split second to decide most of the time. You don't know whether you have it or not. So you have to just decide, is it worth bidding on? So on this particular auction, it was one of those where free shipping was going to kick in after I hit a certain amount. But it didn't, because I came on at the end, towards the end of the auction. So that's something to think about too, because if you're thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to get enough books to make the shipping price worthwhile, depending on where they are in the auction, I mean, they may have only 5 minutes to go, and then you're stuck. You're just stuck. So, yeah. So lessons learned. If I'm buying individual comics, try to make sure it's towards whatever time they started, so I get the benefit of the free shipping. But also, I'm not going to try and I may have some more coming that I bought individually, but I'm not going to try to buy them individually anymore unless they have that free shipping that kicks in and I can get in towards the beginning of the sale. Because if I come in, like on this one, I came in towards the end of the sale. I didn't know it. I saw, as soon as I logged on, I saw Defenders go for $1. And I'm like, okay, waited a little bit more. Another Defenders went for $1. I was like, okay, I need to jump in on this. So I bought some books, and my free shipping did kick in, but it only kicked in for a couple books. So I ended up paying about $2 a piece, which isn't terrible, but it's not where I want to be. So, yeah, I'm just going to go up top and show you the books. Hope all that made sense. Let's zoom in a little bit here, get my big belly out of the way. There we go. Okay, we got Avengers Annual number 14. And we're going to take a look at all these because, there isn't very many in this pile. And yes, the reason that I'm showing some books this week that aren't going into the sale is because there is no sale this week, right? We're skipping this week and going to have a big sale the following week on May 4th, Saturday, 12:30-ish. So yeah, Avengers Annual 14, 1985. Guest starring the Fantastic Four. And that's the one thing about these bags with the self-gluing strips. If you leave them open, they can stick to things. Let's see, you got Roger Stern as the writer. John Byrne did the breakdowns. Kyle Baker did the inks. And you got the Skrulls shooting big guns. So beautiful John Byrne pencils in here. Kyle Baker finishes, just nice stuff. And this one is going into the claim sale because I already own it. So, yeah, I wasn't sure which ones I owned, which ones I didn't. So when it came up and it was going to go for $1, I just grabbed it. All of these were $1. It's the shipping that upped them to $2. And like I said, shipping's high on WhatNot if you're just doing the individual issues, and if they don't have a flat rate shipping available on that particular seller, then shipping can substantially increase the price for you. But yeah, great issue. This one's in really nice shape too. It's very clean, very flat. Nothing wrong with it at all that I can see. Oh, excuse me. Left the doors open a little bit too long today. It got cool. It's just getting to be evening tonight when I'm showing these. So, Avengers #1 from '96. I'm trying to put those runs together. Those Marvel titles when the Image guys did them for a while, for like a year or so. This is #1 by Rob Liefeld and Jim Valentino. And I already have this one as well, so this one's going into the claim sale. Claim sale. And, but this, again, this is, I mean, it's got like a little ding right there. And that's it. I mean, that's just from nothing. That's from existing. That's not, damage especially. And, I remember the art on these, even though, they have their overly muscular characters. The art is still amazing on these. And so, yeah, these are runs I wanted to put together. But again, I didn't know which ones I had. And even though I've got my list right there on my laptop, at the same time I'm watching the sale. They're usually, the sales are so quick that I don't have time normally to look up whether I have it or not. Sometimes if they're doing a run of the same title, then I can bring it up and have it in front of me, and I can tell what I have and what I don't. But like I said, I thought I was going to get these all for like around $1.08 because they, with tax, it's $1.08. This is #3 from that same run, and this one I am keeping because I do not have this one yet. And since I paid $2, it doesn't make sense to go ahead and sell it if I need it. It just does not compute. But I remember having mixed emotions about these when they came out. I didn't really like that they went and like formed their own little separate universe, especially the Captain America title, because at the time they canceled the Captain America title to do this. The Captain America title was awesome. It was great stories and really, really well written. And I don't remember the names of who was doing it at the time. I just remember being very, very disappointed from what the Captain America title was, and then it came to this. And this is Captain America #11 from the time when the Image guys were taking over, and I had this one as well. Actually going to start a third pile, so we're going back to my old system of this is going in the sale, this is I'm keeping. But I enjoyed, the concept of the universe and how it all worked and everything. But it was fun to see like the new versions of the characters. I'm a lot more okay with it now because now we know it's temporary. At the time, it was like, is this what it's going to be from now on? Is this how it's going to be? Did they spin it all off into an Image universe? What the heck, But then they changed it back, and so this is just kind of a side trip, kind of like Age of Apocalypse or one of those, or 2099 It's just kind of an alternate reality thing. Um, so it's a lot more easier to take now. And then we get into some of the defenders, and so this one, I was surprised to get this one for $1. This is, I guess, whoever was bidding. There weren't that many people in the auction either. There was only like 5 or 6 people there, and so this is pretty early. This is number 38. Got Nebulon on the cover. You got Red Guardian, Power Man, Doctor Strange, Nighthawk on there. Steve Gerber's writing it still. Sal Buscema, Klaus Janson doing the art. This one I'm keeping, so it doesn't matter, but it's got a $1.50 written up here. I can probably erase that. It looks like it's in pencil. But on this one, when I opened it up to see if they were complete or not, this one was all folded up like this too, so that kind of sucked. But it'll straighten out. So, and it does still have the Marvel value stamp, so that was pretty cool. But look at this guy. This guy's cool. Looks like Valkyrie's in prison. I'm so looking forward to getting a lot of the Defenders and actually reading through that, because I've always been fascinated by the team dynamic of the Defenders. It was always it's just kind of this ragtag team of heroes that weren't an official team most of the time, and so I really want to. It's a series I really want to kind of read from the beginning and just see how it flows, and instead of just reading. I mean, I've read an odd issue here and there, before, but it's really a story. I want to know more of the backstory about the team and so on and so forth. So, and here's Defenders number 41. I didn't have this one either. Got Hulk, Nighthawk, and Doctor Strange. Hulk's about to kill his friends by trying to save them. And still the same creative team, so that's good. I don't know how long they had Steve Gerber writing this, but those are the issues that look the most interesting to me is when he was still writing it. Just got all this crazy stuff with cosmic cubes and whatnot. So who knows? But looks like fun stuff. I'm actually more interested in reading the Defenders than I am the Avengers most of the time. Here's number 54. Up to a 35-cent cover. Getting expensive. A funny thing happened on the way to the USSR, but the Defenders may not live to laugh about it. Dark Waters, Swift Doom. So you got Namor, Hulk, Hellcat, and Nighthawk. Almost said Nightwing. And, okay, new creative team. This is David Anthony Kraft. Is the writer and the colorist. That's interesting. You don't see that very often. Keith Giffen and Mike Golden doing the art, pencils, and Rob McLeod doing the inks. Okay, so interesting. Probably more early Keith Giffen art in here, but I don't know who penciled what. But it's interesting that the author was the same, also did the coloring. What was his name again? David Anthony Kraft. Not a name I'm familiar with. And that's the end. It's got a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. backup by Scott Edelman doing the writing, Juan Ortiz doing the pencils, and Bruce Patterson as the inker. Huh. That's odd. I wonder if this is when Steve Gerber left and they just had to have somebody write it, so they just had the colorist do it. And then it didn't fill out the issue, so they stuck a Nick Fury backup in it. I mean, I'm just speculating. I have no idea, but that might explain it. Defenders number 62. Pretty classic cover. It's easy, folks. You too can be a defender for a day. I've got this one. I think we've taken a look at it before. This one's got some, I'm not sure if it's water damage or what. Not in perfect condition. It's got some stains here and here, and it's kind of dirty over here. But it is complete. You can see this where the stains come through on the ad. But I don't think they transferred to the story page, so that's good. No, David Kraft is still doing the dialogue. And you got Sal Buscema and Jim Mooney doing the art chores. So, but then somebody else is doing the colors now. So, interesting. Don't know the details. I like Sal Buscema's art. Just the way he lays out the panel, and there's long shots, there's medium shots, there's extreme close-ups. There's just it's a variety to keep you interested. It's pleasing to the eye, because it changes. So I had that one. That goes in that pile. This is number 78. Up to 40 cents. They're getting more expensive all the time. Hulk, Submariner, Doctor Strange, at last exploding into the tunnel world. The return of the original Defenders. Covers by Ed Hannigan and Bob McLeod. This one's from 1979. And I don't remember seeing Defenders very often on the newsstands when I was growing up. I mean, it may have been just a title I wasn't paying attention to, but I don't think it was maybe not as widely distributed as some of the other titles. Ed Hannigan did the writing, Herb Trimp and Mike Esposito on the art. And I've heard some people pronounce Herb Trimp's name as Trimpy. I don't know which is correct. It looks like Trimp to me. But it does have one E on the end of it. So maybe not. That's interesting. It looks like they end it here advertising the next issue, and then it goes on to like have 2 or 3 more story pages, like I guess maybe a prelude to the next issue. Or maybe there's actually a backup here that they don't really title. I don't know. Can't tell. Someday I'll find out when I read it. Nope, that one's mine. I'm gonna have to make sure. Yeah. All right, and here we have number 79. I have this one as well, so this one will go into the future claim sale. We got Rich Buckler cover with Bob McLeod on inks. Ed Hannigan writing and doing some of the pencils. Herb Trimp doing pencils, and Mike Esposito on inks again. So this is 79. This is actually the next issue. So maybe I'll be able to tell from this what the deal was with that 2-page thing at the end of the last one. See if there's something like that in this one, or if they both... Oh, the Mandrill. Last seen in Daredevil 112. Okay, only one story in this one, so I guess they both endings of the last story led into this, I guess. Then we have Iron Man number 247. Got Shellhead and the Hulkster joined forces in a showdown with the Magia. Sorry, I was trying to read the signature here. I don't... Bob Layton. Yeah, I should have known that. All right. And then this one I have as well. It's a nice copy. I actually took my ruler and measured the top and the bottom of this, because when I was looking at it, it's got this optical illusion where it looks like the bottom is thinner than the top, like it was miscut. But I think it's because of this black little strip here that makes it look like that. And it's just, it looks like the comic is straight on this side and then goes like this on this side. But it doesn't. They're both the same length. David Michelini doing the writing. Bob Layton on pencils. Tim Dixon doing the inks. And Bob Layton is sharing a writing credit with David Michelini, it looks like. And this one's got those little waves in it, like I've talked about before, that I don't quite understand. But then, like I said in the episode the other day, when I was watching the Comics Den video from live from the comic shop, it looked like the brand new Slick magazines had that same thing in them, just as brand new ones. So I guess that's just something that happens. I'm not sure. I've never really... I mean, it's not something I would have ever paid attention to for years until now. So but maybe it's not that bad of a thing after all. Maybe it's just normal. I was never that big of a fan of Iron Man, although the early issues look interesting to me. But anything past that, it just, I don't know, just not my thing. But it all depends on the writing, really. Wolverine number 98. And I think this was the first issue I picked up once the free shipping kicked in, because I was like, what the heck, it was $1 and I liked the cover. I got a beautifully drawn Storm, and they got Wolverine sliding down on the rope like Indiana Jones, and just, it was a pretty cool cover. So by Adam Kubert, actually. This one is number 96, and I don't have this one, so this one I'm keeping. Oh, that's a cool ad for Dungeons and Dragons right there too. Let's see, you got Larry Hama as the writer, Adam Kubert doing the pencils with Luciana Lema, and then Dan Green as the inker. Oh, that's cool. Beautifully drawn and colored. So yeah, the X-Men. I don't usually pick up Wolverine, but this was really very nicely put together. I don't know. I think I'm getting more used to the 90s art than I used to be. Appreciating it a little bit more. So yeah, keeping these, and then these Iron Man, a couple of the Defenders, Captain America, and a couple of the Avengers will go into the claim sale. Not this Saturday, but the Saturday next, May 4th, right after the Comic Book Memories show. Same cheap time, same cheap channel. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.